Hello, everyone. Welcome to our next webinar about strategies for academic success. I am Christine Perlmutter, the Assistant Director of Student Experience here at Into Suffolk. And I'd like to introduce you to your academic advisor, Elise Hanna.
Hello, hello.
And Rachel will be joining us soon. So let's go ahead and get started. All right. So first, we're going to start with some important reminders. On-campus move-in day is August 28th if you're living in the dormitory. Orientation for everyone is mandatory, required, and it's August 29th to September 2nd. Elise, when do students receive their schedules?
Students will receive their schedules on September 2nd and not before. So I am working on your schedules right now. It actually takes a little while to get everything settled, to make sure everyone's classes are exactly what they need for their intended majors. So, although I would be happy to answer any questions, you will receive your exact schedule with times and dates at the end of orientation.
All right. Thank you. Elise, what are today's topics?
Well, Christine, I'm so glad you asked. Today, we want to take you through several things that all lead to academic success, including expectations, which means what we expect from you when you're a student with us, and what you can expect from us, from your instructors, advisors. We want to make sure you know what's coming so you can be prepared to behave responsibly in the classroom, and so you know how we will behave with respect and professionalism to you. Also, we'd like to talk a bit about being prepared with your materials. What things will you need to bring in the classroom to make sure that you can succeed from day one? And finally, and maybe most importantly, support. If you're struggling with your academic success, or even if you're doing very well, but you want to do even better, we have so many ways to support you. And we're here today to talk about all those ways and to answer any questions.
Thank you. All right. So, Elise, what can a student expect from the academic English program?
Well, academic English, the program structure is that first, during orientation, you will be given an English proficiency, I would say, test, not for a grade. This is just to see where you are in the program, where you are in your English proficiency, excuse me, to see what you know, what you still need to know. Then you will be placed in classes by level. We have 6 levels of English, from beginning English all the way to advanced English. For every level, there are 4 classes. They usually have to do with things like listening and speaking, reading and writing, American culture, how to write essays, how to engage in public speaking, and debates about your opinion. It's so much more than just grammar and vocabulary, although that's important. There are usually 18 hours of instruction in the classroom, meaning that you'll be hands-on with your professor and your fellow students for 18 real hours in the classroom every week. The academic English program is not for credit towards your degree. However, it does prepare you with critical skills, not just language skills, but skills about the American system and culture, how to express and apply your ideas in English. So it's so important to prepare you for your degree if you choose to go on and get one, or for life or work wherever you are. And finally, For our academic English program, you must earn at least a C or higher in each of your academic English classes before you'll be allowed to move on to the next level.
Now, Elise, what if I'm a grad student and I'm taking AE classes? What grade do I have to earn for that?
That is an excellent question. So we have a slide for graduates, but let me tell you right now, since so many of the people on this call today are some of our lovely graduates, you will also have academic English classes. And for you, it will be at least a B or higher, in your academic English classes. I can explain more as we go.
Thank you. Elise, what can somebody expect if they're an international year one pathway student?
Well, International Year One is what we call our undergraduate student program. So your undergraduate student program, that first year, it could actually look like one semester in our program. It could look like 2 semesters in the program. It depends on your grade point average from your previous institution, from your university or your high school back home. And it's also based on your English language scores, whether you are 1 semester or 2 semesters. Every student in this program has 4 or 5 classes each semester. All students have the same 2 English for academic purposes classes. These are listening and speaking, and reading and writing. Like I said, it's so much more than just listening, speaking, reading, and writing. There are research fundamentals, the writing process, Socratic debate, meaning discussion of your opinions. There are also not just 2 English for academic purpose classes, but also 2 to 3 classes of content based on your major. Let's say that you intend to move on to a degree in art and design. Let's say you intend to move on to a degree in the business school, something like finance, marketing as an undergraduate. There's math, chemistry, there's global business. Whatever your major is, the 2 or 3 content courses are directly related to your major, and they are specific to your degree. So your schedule will not look like others unless they have the same degree. So 2 English for academic purpose classes, 2 to 3 content courses such as math, American Studies, Business Foundations, Chemistry Lab, and maybe Studio Art if you're in an art major, just as an example. In this program, all of your classes count for college credit towards your degree. I will note that your EAP classes count as an elective. If you have questions about that, please come and see me. I can explain more. And finally, for this program, the International Year One undergraduate program, you need to earn at least a 2.0 cumulative or total GPA, grade point average. That means you need an average of about a C grade in all of your classes. In other words, you should keep about a 75 out of 100 in all of your classes. If you ever start to struggle with your grades, talk to your professor, come talk to me, we can help you.
Elise, I have a question.
Sure, of course.
So in the other slide, it said you have to get, say, a C to pass the class.
That's true.
In your IYO classes, what is the lowest grade you can get and still pass the class?
That is an excellent question. Technically, the lowest grade you can get in this program, the International Year One, is a D minus, something like a 61 to 65%. But Since your overall grades, all of your grades combined, have to be at least a 75 average, then if you get a low grade in one class, such as a D minus, you would need a very high grade in another class to make sure that it evens out to a 2.0 grade overall. So we do not recommend doing just the bare minimum. If you do start getting lower grades in your classes, come talk to us right away. Talk to your professors, talk to me. I will say it over and over because we have so many resources to help you that I will talk about shortly. Thanks, Christine.
All right. Oh, and we want to welcome Rachel. Hey, Rachel.
Hey,
Hello.
Rachel. Welcome.
Hi, guys.
Nice
I'm
to
so
see you.
sorry. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Oh,
thank you.
Boston
Welcome.
traffic.
To be honest, it wasn't Boston itself. It was just the little spot like right north of the city. Once I got in the tunnel, it was fine. It was just like that one spot. Just
There's
like,
always the one spot in Boston traffic.
yes, yes. And then I was told not to use my phone anymore, which was really funny.
All right. So we will continue.
Yeah. Oh no. Okay, so Elise, since we have so many graduate students here, what should they look forward to? What can they really expect about their graduate pathway program? Because you've been talking mostly about the undergrads.
Yes, we have mostly been talking about the undergrads, and Christine already made an important point. We have an academic English program, and all of those students take academic English classes. But for our graduate pathway program, those students also take academic English classes that are not for credit, that are extremely advanced and tailored to, meaning very specifically made for your graduate studies. They're things like advanced graduate communication, graduate research and writing, things of this nature, graduate success. So even though most programs take 2 to 3 academic English classes that are not for credit, they are critical. They're very important to set you up for academic success by teaching you skills you will have to use in your graduate program. Aside from those 2 or 3 academic English classes, you also have 2 to 3, depending on your program, content courses based on your intended master's degree program. So I believe someone said public policy, someone said marketing that's here on the call today, etc. Art and design, or excuse me, I apologize, I take it back. Communications, I think it was. All of those different degrees will have different content courses. Only your content courses count towards your degree. Degree also has 2 E's at the end. This is the importance of proofreading or reading through what you present beforehand to make sure that it is correct. So only content courses count towards your degree. Again, the AE classes, while they don't count towards your degree, they certainly count for your education because they are a safe place for you to prepare for those critical thinking skills and writing skills you must have in graduate school. There are a lot of heavy expectations on you as a graduate student to think critically, to be good readers and writers, good analyzers of information, to have your opinions and be able to back them up with evidence. That's what we can help you with in those academic English programs. And finally, because of the level at which you're learning, you've already done a degree, you're coming back for more, you are held to a higher standard in your grades. For graduates, you must have at least a B grade or higher in each of your classes, both your academic English classes and your graduate content courses. That is, say, an 85 or so out of 100 in each of your classes. Again, that's not an average, that's each class you must get a B. That also means, just to drive this home, to make this very important, a B minus is still below a B. You really do need a solid B grade, about an 85 or higher. So again, if you start to slip with your studies, we have resources to help you.
Elise, and this is the structure for their first semester, correct? Not for the full year.
That's a great question. This is what you can expect from your graduate pathway program. So while you are an Into, this is what your semester will look like. Once you move into or matriculate to your degree, you will have only content courses and move on to advising and resources in your graduate program.
Thank you.
Of course.
Elise, I know that the American education system can be really different from other countries. That's what students have told me in the past. So what are some academic expectations in an American classroom?
Well, let me tell you, I can summarize everything by saying we want you to be active, responsible, and respectful. Active, responsible, and respectful in the classroom. And here's what that looks like to Americans. First and foremost, the most important thing, you have to attend your classes and actively participate. What I mean by active is American education is almost always a conversation, what we call a two-way street. It goes both ways. It's not just the instructor giving you information, although there is a lot of that. Lots of your teacher lecturing you about important information, but your teachers also expect you to ask questions, offer your opinions, make comments, give your opinion, and comment on the lecture. So there is a polite way to do so. We usually raise our hands to get the teacher's attention. And then when we're called on, we're expected to participate in class. You'll often be asked directly to participate. They will say, Samir, how do you feel about that? What do you think? Or, Alex, do you have any questions? Or what are your thoughts on what I just said? So your teachers might call on you in class. It pays to pay attention at all times, which means it's best to minimize distractions. Your cell phone should not be out. Your laptop should only be used for taking notes, and no headphones for listening to music, etc. It should really be a time in class to focus in on what you're studying. We also have academic workshops and social activities. That means that the classroom is not the only place you learn here in America. We have lots of things for you to do to learn more, academic things, and lots of ways to build your social life and to network socially. So there's lots of activities you'll be presented with. You certainly don't have to, and you're not expected to go to everything, but we do expect you to do some work and some play outside of the classroom to enhance your experience. Let's see, your academic schedule. Even though I will register you for classes while you are in the program, it is up to you to know your schedule and to ask questions if you have them. Your Suffolk email also is so critical. We communicate only with your academic email for many of us. Now, I think that there are other ways you communicate with Christine and Rachel, so please feel free to jump in. But your professors, your advisors, any professional staff that you encounter, like in the finance center, etc., They will all communicate with you only by email and only your Suffolk email. So you need to check it every day for important information. We can also teach you how to link the email you have now to your Suffolk email, but it is important for you to check.
Can I
Oh,
Can I
please.
jump on one thing for that, Elise? I
Please.
know that a lot of students have been reaching out to me because they're having issues accessing their Suffolk emails right now, and they're very, very concerned. And I want to make sure everybody knows we know. And we are aware, and you just have to send us an email. You can send an email to me or to Christine or just to into@suffolk.edu, and we will make sure to set up an appointment for you with IT, and we will help you get your credentials. It's very easy, but it's nothing that you guys did. So don't worry about it. It's something that the university knows, and they know that this is an issue. It's not just the international students, it's across the board. The students that are in the US are having the same difficulties. So it's not a you problem. Just let us know, and we will be very happy to help you get these credentials, okay? So that you can log in and access your emails. We do ask that you remember that your username is not actually your name on your email. The username is a special code that they sent you in the email that tells you what your email will be. It's 2 separate lines. So before you send us an email, just make sure you're typing in the right username, okay, guys? But this is the email system, and this is the login that you're going to use for everything when you get here, for all of your academic things, for all of your academic platforms, and for accessing any of the appointment making software that we're going to teach you about at orientation. So this is a really important thing. We know that you know it's important, and we want to make sure that you can get access to this as soon as possible. So if you're having trouble with that, send us an email. We're here to help you guys, okay? All right, sorry, Elise, I just wanted to jump
No,
on.
I'm so glad you told me because I wasn't aware of students who are having trouble with that. We'll never
Yeah.
hold it against you if you have troubles. Just let us know.
Yep.
And that brings us perfectly to our next point, to communicate. Things happen. Wonderful things happen. Tragic things happen. And when they happen to you, communicate with your professors. We expect you to be in every class, but if you're going to miss a class, please let your professors know. We expect you to be on time, but if you've fallen off your bike on the way and broken your arm and you're in the hospital, heaven forbid, communicate with your professors. No matter what happens, stay in touch with your professors, stay in touch with your advisor, stay in touch with your student experience team. We can help you with whatever you're dealing with. And we're here to help. You can come just talk to us for practice with English. You can ask us questions about your assignments and where to go to get help. You can ask us anything, but you have to ask. So please make sure that you connect with one of us so we can answer all of your questions. And finally, we expect you to know what's going on in your classes. How do you know what you'll be studying that day and what you needed to do to prepare? You should read the syllabus. The syllabus is a document that every professor will give you that will tell you about the class, a description of the class, a description of the textbook and reading materials, and usually a calendar with day by day in the class, what you'll be studying and what work you're expected to do. That's perfect, a perfect way to put it. It's a guideline for the class. You always get it on the first day or at least the first week of classes, and your teacher may go over the syllabus with you. Maybe they won't, but you're expected to read each syllabus, each guideline, to know what the class is about and how to prepare each day.
Elise,
So let me stop. Oh, I'm sorry.
I have a question. So
Good, I was going to ask.
One of your bullet points is be on time to class. In
Oh.
America, what does it really mean to be on time?
It means to be at least 5 to 10 minutes early. If you slide in exactly on time, you'll be assumed late. Early is on time in America. Early is on time. You need to be in your seat with your notebook and pen out to take notes, or your laptop if you take notes on your laptop, by the time your class starts. Early is on time.
Thank you.
Elise, do you know that there are some professors that if you're more than 10 minutes late, they will mark you absent from class?
It is true. The
So-
syllabus will tell you those rules, but expect to be marked absent if you're more than 10 minutes or so late. Frankly, the only way to learn is if you're in the classroom. If you're there for some of it, but not all of it, you're missing things. You're not really there, and you will be marked absent. Yes, for some professors, your participation, whether or not you show up to class, is reflected in your grade. So for the best grades, and really just for your own education, which you paid for, be in class to get that information you can only get there. Because since we do so much talking in class, so much is discussion with your fellow students as well as your professor, you have to be there to really know what everyone is saying. You can't get those conversations back, so don't miss them. Any other questions? Questions from our students?
So, I just have a couple of questions.
Please.
So for our classes, we have 4 to 5. Is that also including the AE classes?
Yes,
So then,
4 to 5 total.
so then if we have 2 of those classes, we can only have 2 classes of our intended major or supporting classes.
This is a general rule. So what I'm showing you is many people have 2 to 3 AE, 2 to 3 content courses, but depending on your major, you may have more or less. It really depends on what you want to study. For example, finance students have, I think, 3 AE classes and 4 or 5 content classes. So it just depends on your major. If you're, of course, interested in your own major, shoot me an email and I can send you a schedule of what your classes will look like and what your classes will be. That's a good question. It depends.
So as of now, I don't have to worry about my class schedules at all, or
Not at
picking
all.
classes?
You can just chill, as they say in America. You can rest and relax while you're in the Into program. We will register you for courses because the program itself is designed with certain classes in mind for certain majors, for certain programs, to help you succeed and integrate into your program. So it's not that you can choose. Our program is that you have these specific classes to help you. So you don't need to do anything. Later, when you complete the Into program and move into your degree, if those of you who have degrees you're moving into, you will need to register yourself and choose classes yourself with the help of your program advisors. And when that time comes, we help you learn about registration and we connect you with your program advisor, since I am your Into advisor. So we'll help you through that process when the time comes. For now, you can just chill.
I see. Thank you. Thank you.
Any other questions, comments, concerns?
So just one question, please.
Sure,
So in
please.
this first term, the classes you'll be only on the pathway?
I am so sorry. Can you please repeat your question?
Yeah, for this first term,
Mhm.
all the classes you'll be on the English. It do not have the classes correlated to the major, to the master program.
It depends on your program. There are only English Into classes for academic English, but Samir, since you are in the graduate program, you will have both academic English classes and classes specifically for your public policy major.
Ah,
So it,
Perfect.
it depends on your program. It also depends on if you're 1 semester or 2 semester, which depends on your test scores and grades. So again, if you're just curious, I can't give you your exact details yet. You will get your schedules on September 2nd, but shoot me an email if you want to know in general what kind of classes you're taking, and I will let you know. I'll also send you a link to our catalog, a long list of classes that you can click on the title and it will give you a long description of what the class is about. And you can find the classes that are for your major and read about what you'll be doing in class.
Oh, nice. Yes,
Of course.
I saw that link. I was searching here on the site, and I saw some courses like American Political History or Macroeconomics Applied. I would like to know if I can apply for those courses as well.
That is a great question. And the truth is, not during the pathway program, but after. You can work with your graduate or program advisor while you're in the Into program. Courses have been chosen for you to help you on your way to your degree. It's specific courses to help you with language, American culture, critical thinking skills, while you integrate, while you move towards and blend into your degree. So
Nice.
you will have more choice later. And if there is ever a choice, I will always let you know. There is often not. Oh, will students get their schedules by September 3rd? I thought it was September 2nd. I hope I'm
They
not.
are, no, you are correct, September 2nd, but they said teacher will send those information. So I said,
Okay.
September 2nd is the Friday, so you should get it that Friday. If you don't get it that Friday, let me and Elise know, and we will make sure you get it before then, because
Right.
you're supposed to get them by the 2nd.
Absolutely.
That's a great question. Okay.
May I perhaps ask this time, now, Christine, for a very long time, was an instructor in our program. So perhaps she can talk more about what instructors expect from you as a student in the classroom. Christine, would you mind?
Yes. So instructors do expect you to be on time. When say your class starts at 9, your instructor wants to begin at 9. They don't want to wait 10, 15 minutes. They want to start on time. They want you to have all of your materials with you. So if they say, okay, everyone take out some paper and a pen, they want you to have paper and pen. If they say, okay, we're going to do some writing on your laptop, they want you to have your laptop with you. So bring your materials to every class, especially textbooks, laptop, paper, and pens. They also want you to speak in class. They don't want you to be quiet the whole time. If you're quiet, they will think you're not interested, you don't care, or that you don't want to be there, which is not the truth. So you want to speak in class and you want to give your opinion and answer questions or ask questions. Teachers will expect you to do all homework, and yes, teachers give homework. It's the studies have shown you learn best inside and outside of the classroom. So you will receive homework and you're expected to complete it. You're also expected to attend office hours if you for many reasons. You might have questions about the class, or you might just want to have a better relationship with your professor. You have to think long term. Maybe you want an internship in the future, and the internship will want you to have a reference or recommendation. If you never made a good relationship with your professors, you won't have anyone to ask for the recommendation. So make sure you go to office hours and get to know them, even if it's just to say hello. Also, you want to make sure if the professor gives you feedback, so if they write a comment on your test or on your essay, you want to read it they spend hours working on every student's work, and they give you good feedback. You want to read it and learn from it and apply it to the next assignment. American professors also expect you to submit assignments on time. If it's due on Monday, they expect it on Monday. Some professors will not accept late work at all. Other professors will give you a deduction. For example, you can only receive 50% if the assignment is late. Professors expect you to attend tutoring if you need extra help. And all classes expect you to take notes as you listen to lectures. So have your paper and pencil ready or your laptop ready to take notes and without distractions. So paper and pencil is best because then you won't be distracted by getting emails or other things on your computer. All right. The other thing that professors will expect is for you to respect everyone's opinion. So if somebody says something you don't like or disagree with, it's okay to say, I never thought of that. That's not really the way I see it. I see it this way. It's okay to disagree, but to do so respectfully and to acknowledge or understand other people's opinions. And all professors expect you to try. You don't have to be perfect. We understand that students make mistakes and sometimes fail at certain things, but we want you to try and to try your best. Any questions about that before we move on? I see Rachel has a question.
So Christine, I know that some students have asked, I used to be a teacher a lifetime ago.
I know.
And some students would ask me if they could record my lecture, on their phones or using a recording device. And I didn't mind because that's me as a personal professor. But I know that some students might try to just record instead of taking notes. And you really need to be respectful and make sure that that's okay with your instructor before you just start recording class. So if you're worried that you're not going to be able to write as fast as your professor and you want to record the lecture or the class, you have to make sure that your instructor is okay with that. So you need to have permission before you just do it. Okay?
That's right. In fact, in the United States, it's illegal to record someone without permission.
Yeah, so we want to make sure that we're asking, and it's also just a more polite thing to do. One more other thing about taking notes, some professors would prefer you not to use computers in class. So they might tell you that you can't use your computer to take notes. And you're going to be like, oh my God, I have to do handwritten notes. Oh my goodness, what should I do? I don't want you guys to be stressed out about this. We will be having programming to help you learn how to take really good notes. So when we're talking about this and it looks like a really scary list and you're like, oh, I have to attend tutoring and you don't know where to go for tutoring, that's okay. You can come talk to Elise and she will show you and she'll tell you exactly how to make appointments for tutors, whether or not you need tutors for anything. Elise is your person. You can actually just send her an email, be like, Elise, I don't understand my professor. What do I do? And Elise will be like, okay, cool. Let's get you an appointment with a tutor. Come see me. We're going to do this together. Like, let's get this done with.
And I will say, tutoring is not just for people who are struggling, for people with low grades. Tutoring is to help you raise your B to an A, to raise your A to better understanding. You will always do better and understand more. You will learn more with tutoring, talking to someone else about your work. So don't wait until you're not doing well. Have someone look over your work now just to offer you feedback. Feedback is information about your ideas and how to improve so that you can get the best experience and do your very best work.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments?
All right, so let's talk about these assignments. So that's a question that everybody's always wondering. What will my assignments look like? And we have a lot of different types of assignments in classes in the US. You will not only get weekly homework assignments where you're having an assignment maybe once or twice a week for a class, you're also going to work with your classmates on group work. Yay, teamwork, woo! I know you're all like, yeah, no. But it's actually really useful, especially in an international program like INTO, where you're going to be working with people from different countries and different nationalities and different backgrounds. And this is so important because when you go out into the real world and you have jobs, people that you work with are going to be from all over the world, and you really need to be able to work as a team. There's also essays where you're going to learn about how to write an effective paper and essay. And we do field trips. Now I know you're thinking, oh, we're in college. Why do we have field trips? Our field trips are designed to help you understand American culture and to take what you're learning in the classroom and applying it to real life situations. Yes, Elise?
What is a field trip?
Oh my goodness, thank you. A field trip is when we have class, but we don't have it in the classroom. For example, this past summer, during one of the sections of the class, they were learning about American government. So instead of just doing a lecture on American government, we actually went to the Massachusetts State House and we saw where the legislature and where the different officials in the local government do their work. And we learned all about it at the place where the officials work. And it was a really cool experience. So we're taking what you're learning in class and applying it to real life and showing you other places. So let's say we're talking about the legal system in the US. We're going to go visit a courthouse, things like that. So not only are you learning about it in your lecture, but you're actually physically experiencing it. Does that make sense? Does anyone have a question? All right. Now, the next three are pretty simple. We have quizzes, which you know about. Those are different types of assessments and tests. And those are not to punish you. Those are to make sure that we understand what you understand in class. It's not there to like say, oh, you don't know this. It's really just for us to know whether or not you're understanding materials. There are presentations where you stand up in front of the class and you give a PowerPoint, just like we're doing right now. And hopefully you double check how to spell degree. I say that because this is mine. I had to build this up last night. So I take responsibility for that. Yay, go team. But presentations are a really big part of the American education system. We want you to be confident when you're speaking in front of a large group. When you're in university, you have to do presentations in almost every class that you take. So we want to start you doing these presentations in the INTO program as kind of a safe space to begin this. And then last but not least, which sounds really boring, are assigned readings. And they're not. Elise is so mad at me because I said they were boring.
Not
like,
boring.
no, they're not
Reading
boring.
is exciting. It takes you to new places. It opens up your mind to new information. Reading is the best. Just saying.
It's okay, Elise. And what I was going to say is, I know that assigned reading sounds boring, but the assigned readings that we provide you with INTO are not boring. They do exactly what Elise says. They're introducing you not only to literature, but they're also introducing you to other cultures and other worlds that you might not have experienced yet. And they're introducing you to a new way of thinking. So these are just some of your assignments. You might have other assignments depending on what classes you're in. I don't know how much assigned readings you'll get from a math class, but who knows? I remember I had to do math reading assignments. I had to learn the history of the Pythagorean theorem in college, and oh, I don't even want to. At least that's a conversation for another day. You'll definitely enjoy that one. All right, so
we are almost running out of time. And
yep.
so
Let's talk really quickly about the materials that you're going to need for the first day of classes and just in class in general. I know we're short on time. So first day of class, make sure you have pen and paper, you have notebook, you have something to write something down on. you're going to need a laptop or a smartphone. A smartphone can be Android, iPhone, whichever. And if you don't have these items yet, you want to get them when you arrive in the US, that's okay, but you need them before the first day of classes on September 6th. So if you need assistance purchasing these, please let us know and we will help you and we'll guide you to which shops are good places to go get them. We won't send you to anywhere weird, we'll send you to good places. But you do need this technology to be successful students at Suffolk. We're also, to go shopping, we're going to have an orientation shopping trip during orientation on September 3rd. And so we'll show you actually where to go get your smartphones, your laptops, and anything else, your notebooks. So you don't necessarily have to bring your notebooks with you. You can get them here. But we want to make sure that you're prepared for these materials before classes start on the 6th. So if there's anything specific that you want help getting, totally let us know and we will help you get them. Another thing I wanted to bring up with the laptop and smartphones, if you're bringing these items from home, make sure you have the correct adapters for the US electrical systems, okay? You need to make sure you have not only the correct plug, but for some laptops, you'll need an adapter. If you're not sure, you can always Google that to double check that you have the right materials, okay? All right, so last but not least, how to get my textbooks. We actually have a bookstore with Suffolk University. You can visit the website here. This link will be clickable on our webinar website after the presentation, probably a little later today. And you can go there, and once Elise gets you your schedules, you can just type in what your classes are, and your textbook should pop up there very quickly, and you can either order those from the bookstore to go pick up at the bookstore, or you could have them shipped to you. I recommend ordering them from the bookstore to pick up at the bookstore. That way you don't have to wait for your textbooks at the beginning of the semester. That way you are more prepared the first day of classes. Does that make sense? Now, we will show you where the bookstore is, so don't worry about it. We're going to show you where that is during orientation. Now I'm going to let Elise have the microphone back because she's going to talk to you about academic supports, because that's her shenanigans.
Like I said, I know for some of you it might be very, very early or very, very late. I want to, instead of going through each of these options, remind you that there are a million ways to get help, and I will talk specifically about each one, where to go, how to make an appointment at orientation. So this is just a little invitation and enthusiasm to get you there. Please come and hear us talk more about all the many ways you can get help, such as tutors, workshops, academic coaches to help you learn study skills, specific writing tutors. We have on the right here language workshops with all kinds of different topics. We have peer conversation hours. Your peer is your fellow student, your colleague, your classroom buddies. So you have people just like you to come and chat with you to practice English. And of course, we have professional tutors as well. So we will talk in much more detail about where to find these resources at orientation. So over to you.
This is just to remind you, you need to be on campus beginning August 29th for orientation. You'll receive your schedule at orientation. And I am going to actually stop the recording.